Hi, good evening. My name is Joshua Theophilus. So I just want to take you guys through a quick guide on how to set up Facebook ad. So and this practice we're gonna just focus on the reach objective, and subsequent videos I'm gonna work on how you can actually set up Facebook ads considering other objectives. All right. So I don't like talking, so I'm just gonna get into practicals right now, and I have few folks beside me, so might as well look very interactive. So just so you know, all right. So I'm gonna share my screen right now and then take you through the journey. So let's do this together. Okay. So all right. So you see my screen right now. What you see right now is actually my arts manager. So this is actually one of my casual arts manager. It's a personal one though. So for instance, if you've not run ads before, your interface is not going to look like this here because you don't have campaign history to actually look out to. So you're gonna have your plain interface where you're just gonna click on create ads to start creating your first ads. And if you're gonna be creating ads for the first time, congratulations to you. You're just taking a bold step to amplify your marketing efforts or that of the brand you're marketing for or you're managing. All right. So basically, if you want to create Facebook ads, you basically just need to log onto your Facebook account and then go to Ads Manager. That's going to be another video how to access Ad Manager from your Facebook profile. If you don't know, it's going to be a short one. And then you just come right here, you click create. So when you click create, the first thing you want to do is that you want to pick your objective. And I already said from the start that for this practice, we're going to focus on the reach objective. So you click on this and yeah, Facebook has a new home. So a new interface, I would mean to say, if you don't understand what I mean by a new home. So everything's really has changed. Yeah, so I like naming my campaign. So I'll just click here, test ad one. So that's campaign name. So I'm going to call it ad set one, and I'm gonna call this ad one. All right. So let's say I want to make my campaign, structure well, named and level. So I want to make my first ad set. So I could just call it ad set one reach. Yeah. Uh, Reach. So I'm going to show you why I named this reach as we progress or we proceed. Yep. So once you've actually been able to level your campaign effectively or appropriately. Yep. And it's gonna load. My Jude is gonna load right now. Yep. So the next thing is basically, so you're gonna see these special ad categories. So you could see you're required to declare if your ads are related to credit, employment, housing, social issues, election, or politics. I mean, I don't like running campaigns for all of these, exception of housing for those real estate and all. So yep. So you're just gonna leave that there. So basically we have what we call campaign details. So buying type. So basically this very ads count. Yeah, we only have auction, which is the buying type. So you probably I'll talk about that in the subsequent video. So campaign objective is already set. If you want to change it, you can still go ahead and change it here. So click on show more options. So if you want to set a campaign spend limit, yeah, you could do that. So just click here and then take this button and you can actually put your limit but I'll next in setting limits because I just go ahead and put the amount that I want to save and then I put the end date for the campaign as usual. Okay, so then the next thing you're going to see is either to run an A and B test or not. So this is actually what we call split test. So if you want to test for stuff like creative, placement, optimization, delivery, this is where you carry out that function. So yeah, you can actually get started from here. But away from that, you can actually just go ahead and set up your campaign, duplicate an ad set, and tick on split test, and you're gonna get it done as fast as possible. So the next thing I want you to do is that I like turning on campaign budget optimization. So this helps me stabilize my cost spending across ad set as much as possible. So and also help me achieve a very effective result. So when you turn on your campaign budget optimization, it helps you actually stabilize your spend across ad sets and as at the same time help you make your campaign results effective. So for instance, we have 3 or 4, 5 ad sets here. It will help us spread the budget, efficiently and equally across all the assets and not just spread the budget, but it will also help us achieve a very effective result. All right, so that's what I like turning this guy on. And the next thing is that you see budget. So For budgets, I don't like using daily budget unless otherwise. So I like leaving it at lifetime budget. So leaving it at lifetime budget is still the same thing as using daily budget. Unless where you don't know the exact amount you want to spend, and you just want to spend based on how the campaign turns out to be in terms of performance and metrics, then you might want to use a daily budget. But where you want to actually exact amount you that has been dedicated for a particular campaign, then lifetime budget is actually advisable because the system would automatically split the budget across the number of days you intend the campaign to run equally. So yeah, so for instance, this is a test campaign, not like I'm going to launch it. So I can just put 100,000 there, right? Yep. So then the next thing is your bid strategy. So because I like leaving my campaign on the lowest cost. Why? Because especially if it has to do with reach, brand awareness, engagement, I like leaving it at the lowest cost. But if I'm running a conversion campaign, then I probably want to use BidCap. And sometimes if I'm running a traffic campaign, I might actually use BidCap if I'm looking at stuff like landing page page views, optimization, and all. But then the difference simply is lowest cost. You're simply saying the system should try as much as possible to show your arts in the auction at the lowest cost possible, and this will actually help you stabilize your cost and get the most of result. But when you're using a bid cap, you're trying to tell the system exactly either not to show your campaign or your ads above a certain amount or cost per result, or to show your campaign from a certain cost per result. So it all depends on the strategy you use on the letter, which I'm still going to show you that. So for this purpose, I'm going to leave it on lowest cost. Then more options. So we have ad scheduling. So for instance, if I don't want to run this ad all day, I can decide to schedule the ad. So all I need to do is click on the edit button, click on here, and then once I click on here, I can be able to set up my ad scheduling, but I don't want to use ad schedule. So I want the campaigns to run all time. So I'm going to leave it there. So with this, you're done at with all settings as regarding the campaign level. Now, when it comes to Facebook ads advertising, we have three levels basically. We have the campaign level, the ad set level, and the ad level. So you can see that when I was trying to do the leveling, right? So we're done with all settings as regarding the campaign level. So we're going to move to the ad set level now. So I'm just going to click next. All right, so now this is the ad set level. So this is where you are actually be able to set up your budget scheduling as well again. That's ad set budget, your campaign duration, your optimization as well. So here I'm just gonna pick a page to represent the campaign. So let's say for instance I have numerous pages. Let's say I'll pick this guy. Yep. So I pick this, and I want to go ahead and set up my start date. So it's already on today's date. So I probably just want to look at the timing. So I'll put the time on, let's say 18. Yep. Then the end date. Now, this is one thing that people always encounter a problem with anytime they're setting up campaign, especially newbies. So anytime you're trying to set up a campaign on Facebook, when it comes to the duration, Facebook automatically put it on 1 month. So if you don't look at it very well, you might think maybe it's just within the same month, and you might not actually check it, especially when you're using a daily budget. Yep. So it is important for you to take note of the date and the month when you're even selecting a date. So yep, I'm going to take it back. So let's assume I want this guy to run for 5 days. So I'll put it there, and my date is set, right? So I really want to click on more options. So now if I want to set a certain limit for this ad spend, this is where I'm going to set that. But then I don't have to set that because I've already turned on campaign budget optimization. So that would help me, spread my budget across the different ad set that I might set up equally. All right. So yep. So the next thing is audience. So now when it comes to the audience, we have three types of audience for Facebook. We have the core audience, we have the custom audience, and we have the lookalike audience. And if you ask me for a rich campaign or any campaign under the brand awareness category of objectives on Facebook, there's no need for you to use custom audience for real. unless you have really enough of it to target. So it's always good to use core audience, or at most you use a lookalike audience here. So I'm just going to say, for instance, let's say we target people in Lagos, right? So yep, okay, I was at custom audience. So let me actually come up and edit this. Yep, yeah, okay. So I'll take this guy off, and then I'll search for the location I want to target right now. So Lagos, Nigeria. Now, for instance, you see Lagos here. This is Lagos City, and this is Lagos, Nigeria. So the difference is that this is Lagos as a state, and this is Lagos as a city. And I want to target Lagos as a city, right? So I'll pick this one, city, and now another thing you can do is that you can decide to target even Lagos by radius. So I can decide to say, okay, I don't want it to go beyond 30 kilometers. So I'll take it down to 30, and that's set for me. All right. So away from that, another thing I would want to set up on my targeting is age and gender, right? So practically, because it's a rich campaign, let's assume that this campaign is for a media brand. So I want to target people from age 15, and then I want to take it back from 65 to 40, and then that's it for me. Gender, I want to target all gender. Now detail targeting. Now this is where your keywords it comes to play. This is where all those motivational point, touch point, pain point, interest that you do when you're trying to define your audience persona or your buyer persona actually comes to play. So imagine that you have a persona that you say, oh, he's interested in football, he loves sport, he loves entertainment, or he loves fashion, or he loves, maybe movies. This is where you play around those ones, right? Because those ones are keywords. So you now have to identify those interests or keywords either under demographics, interest, or behavior. So let's assume that the people we are targeting here, there are people that are interested in digital technologies and media. So what are those related keywords we can actually pick around? So I'm just going to do a very few. When it comes to targeting, it's going to be another lesson entirely some other time. So I could just put the keyword digital. Let me see. So we have digital media here, field of study. We have digital media interest. We have digital media producer. We have digital media designer. We have digital media player. We have media agency. So you could see that there are branch of keywords under that. We have, digital media and digital arts interest. We have as much as possible. So if I scroll, you could see all of it, right? So I'm just going to pick the interest digital media first of all, and then that's kind of cover everything for me, right? Then you allow your audience to load. There's something specific I want to show you. So let's say we want to pick another interest, digital technology. Okay, so you could see early technology adapters. So it's a behavior, right? Now it might not actually work. So you have digital activities, Facebook access, other device and OS, digital activities, internet browser use, Facebook access, Chrome. So this is very unique for me. Like a million of people uses Chrome, right? And then I could also decide to target page admins under digital activities also. So I want to pick these Chrome guys, right? So now let's say I'm done picking all the keywords I want to pick, and I've added all the interests, behaviors, and demographics I want to add, right? So I want to be sure that I'm on track. So what do? I look at the audience meter here. So you could see where I'm hovering my mouse. So this shows me if my audience is well defined or not. So you could see your audience is defined. Now, for you to know if your audience is defined, you actually look out for this meter here. Once it reads within this green line here, then you're on point. If it falls under the red here, then your audience is too specific. If it comes to this other side, the yellowish color side here, simply means your audience is actually very broad. So you want to be sure that as much as possible, no matter what you're doing, your audience selection stays within the green arc here. So that shows me that my audience selection is very nice. Now, I would have been able to see my estimated daily result here, but because I've turned on my campaign budget optimization, this estimated daily result will not show. So if I was doing a mock-up campaign for a brand or a project I'm working on, I will not turn on the campaign budget optimization. I'll just go ahead and set it up so I'll be able to see this daily estimation, because this is what would help me in preparation of a budget. All right, so it's something you need to know. So in case you go ahead and do it this, and then you're wondering why it didn't show for you, that someone told you it does. So yeah, that's something to help you. Now, placement, it is very important to know that placement is one key thing when it comes to Facebook advertising. So I personally, I love Facebook recommendations actually, because they help you give you the best of results at all time. So I like leaving my ads on automatic placement, but if for any reason I want to actually use manual placement, it simply means I want to edit the placement to wherever I want. So for instance, if I want to do manual placement, I might decide that I want my ads to show on Instagram only. All I need to do is click on manual placement. When I click on manual placement, I'll come here on tick audience network, on tick Facebook, and I'll leave it at Instagram only. So you could see now my ad is going to be for Instagram only, right? Okay, so that's all. Then if I still want to exclude some certain placement on Instagram, I can go ahead and check like Instagram Explore. I can exclude it and all of those. All right. So that's what you do about placement. So yeah, but I'll leave it at automatic placement because it's always the best. Now, the next thing is optimization delivery. Yep. So again, because it's a rich campaign doesn't mean that we just leave it there. So we can decide to optimize it for impression or reach. So the difference between impression and reach is simply that impression actually counts the number of times that somebody made an impression on this campaign. That's the number of times a particular person would see this campaign. So, for instance, I can have user A and user B. If user A sees this campaign 100 times and user B sees this campaign 50 times, that simply means 150 impressions. But if I optimize for reach, then user A sees it for 100 times and user B sees it for 50 times. That's too rich. All right. So reach is actually the unique number of people that sees or engages with your campaign, or the campaign actually reaches out to. Okay. So impression is just the number of times. So it can be 200, 300, whatever it is. But reach is the unique number of times. Okay. That's something you need to take note of. So I'm gonna leave this guy, optimize it for reach. Now, if at the later the previous stage where I show you bid strategy, if we were using bid cap, I would have been able to use a cost control here. But because we use lowest cost, there's no way we can actually use bid cap here. So I would have been able to select a bidding cap here. So more options you can actually look at. Now you can actually decide to change your frequency cap and as well. So frequency cap simply means how many times you want one user to see your campaign in 7 days or how many days. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to say in 3 days, I want one person to see this campaign 3 times. So if you're in the target audience for this campaign, you're going to see this campaign once every day, so long as you've seen it for the first time. That's what it means. So I said that day, and then when you are charged, I can decide when to be charged, but because of the option we choose, which is reach, so we can't really determine when we're charged, because when it comes to reach and impressions brand awareness campaign, you either charge by reach or impression. So there's no toggle for that. So I'm just going to move to the next stage, which is the last stage, which is the art stage. All right, so now this is where you now give your campaign an identity. So you could see now, first of all, identity is actually represented, the Instagram is connected and all. Then the next thing is the setup. Now, Facebook has actually really improved over time, and it is really very cool and sweet right now. So I can actually decide to use an existing post for this campaign. So all I need to do is click here, and then it's going to open. Once I click that, I come to add creative, and I choose where I want to pick the existing post from. Is it Facebook? I can decide to use this. All I need to do is click it, highlight, and I'll come on, click continue, and that's all. If I want to use Instagram, I just click here, and then I'll be able to click on a particular post. For instance, this first one here, and I'll just click here and it's done. So for instance, let me pick that post from Instagram. So you could see it's already there, right? So but if I don't want to, I can simply just click here and then go ahead to create an ad. So if I click here to create an ad, another thing you want to pay attention to is your ad format. So do I want to use a single image or video, or do I want to use a carousel? Now I'm just going to show you a single image first of all. Subsequent campaigns set up, I would actually talk about carousel. All right. So if I use a single image, all I just need to do is I come down here and then click on add image. So I want to pick an image for my campaign. Sorry guys, I have plenty stuff here. Um, so let's say I just want to pick this and I just click on that and then it is done. Yep. So I now have an option to choose how I want it to look. So do I want it to look vertical, horizontal? I can choose, but I love leaving it as square. Why? Because I want it to be legible for almost every placement that is possible with this optimization and aspect ratio or pixel basically. So I just click continue and voila, it's here. So you can see this campaign is actually going to run on 13 placement. I'll come to that aspect. So now notice that I passed something here, add instant experience, add a playable source file. So if it was a mobile game I was running this campaign for, I would have actually added a playable source, which is the mobile game that is already linked to this Facebook Ads Manager or the page I'm using. So that's why. If I want to add an instant experience that opens full screen, I can just go ahead and click here to add instant experience. But I'm going to do a video that will actually show you how to set up instant experience campaign basically on later on. So you can actually check back on my channel for that. So once you finish adding your image, you want to be able to, add your primary text. So let's say we just want to test and see what it feels like to run an ad for the first time. All right. So test and see what it feels like to run an ad for the first time. All right, so this could be our primary text. So your primary text is basically that central message that the campaign is all about, that key message of the campaign. So your single-minded message for your campaign is what will make up your primary message basically. And you could add options. So if you are you have a set of badass copywriters in your team and you guys came up with a set of copies and you don't know what to do, just pick 3 and add 3. But the highest you can actually add is 5. So let's say you want to add more. All I just need to do is click on add option and I will have this option to add another one. So let's say we just add another one. So right, so now I have 2 primary text. Then next thing is I might want to add a website, yes, because it's a rich campaign for people to be able to do something. So I tick this option. The next thing is headline. So headline is description, summary of your campaign. You can actually add up to 5 also, just like the primary description, a primary text. So basically, I would say a newbie. So I just put a headline, I'm a newbie. So let's say we want to add another one. We can just go ahead and click here and put I just put something like this is my first. So the headline is actually a summary of your campaign, what your campaign is actually all about. That single statement or sentence that defines your campaign. Actually, that's what makes your headline. So your headline is actually good when it's actually something that is more or less like a call to action. Okay, so it inspires people to take action. Yep. So the next thing is a description. So you have more details for your campaign. For instance, you're actually doing an offer, a promo. So you can now put more details here. So interested people, when they see the headline and the primary text, will be able to click and then see the description and all of it. So man, I could just put something like, we're just playing here. So we're just playing here. And then the next thing is that you really need to add a website. So I could just say I could just say www.joshuatheophilus.xyz. Yep. So guys, that's actually my website though, so you could have check me out. I don't really have stuff there, but you could just check me out. Now if a display URL, if I want a URL to display, okay, I can actually put that URL here. So if you're actually doing an offer or something, you can actually put your display URL here. So for instance, I just put the same URL, but if you don't want, you might as well skip this. It's actually optional, it's not compulsory, right? Even the description too is actually optional, it's not compulsory. So you need to know things that are compulsory and things that are not compulsory. So you could see that from here now, the campaign is well set up, there's no error at all. So the next thing is that you need to pick a call to action button because you've selected, add a website and all of those. So I actually want to put a call to action button, learn more. So I want people to go to the website to be able to maybe learn more about, what the campaign is all about. And that's all. So if you are actually doing it, then you can also add dynamic translate to reach people in different languages. But this is not a cross-border campaign, basically. And yeah, then the next thing is pixel. So you can decide to turn on your pixel, but before you turn on pixel for any campaign, you must be able to set up pixel for that campaign. And then if you want to track events, you must also be able to set up that. If you want to use URL parameters, which is optional, depending on you have extra URLs and all tracking you want to use, you can as well use them. So we're going to talk about this pixel and offline events in a subsequent video, basically. So for now, this is all you need to do, and yeah, your campaign is well set up. So this is basically for a rich campaign, and the step for brand awareness campaign is not even quite different. Okay, yeah, it's just almost the same thing. So maybe in the next video, I'm just going to talk about campaigns under the engagement consideration stage group of objectives. Really. So once you're done with this, all you just need to do, go ahead and click publish, and your campaign is actually live. And that's all it takes for you to set up your campaign. So I know you guys you probably want to have questions you want to ask. Yeah, you could just drop them on the comment section, and I'll actually be able to check and respond to all of them. All right. So that's basically how to set up a campaign. Thank you very much.